So, Marathon just had its big reveal. We got gameplay finally, we got some dev interviews, we got insight into what the game is and is going to be. And I have been pretty quiet about Marathon stuff. I think I posted maybe one thing, like something on the initial reveal sometime last year. Otherwise, it's been nothing from me, and that has been pretty intentional, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So what even is Marathon if you haven't been paying attention at all? Marathon is a PvP VE question mark. It's mainly PvP extraction shooter where you will drop onto a map of some kind. I think they said there's going to be 3 or 4 at launch, and you will attempt to extract as many items as possible. Guns, mods, upgrades, whatever else. Like, you get it. Anything you extract, you keep. If you die while out and about, you will lose everything that you had on you. So the stakes can be as high as I have all my stuff, my best stuff equipped on me, so I really can't die, to as low as I'm just bringing in a bunch of garbage to farm some med kits. I don't know what you farm in an extraction shooter. You can go out with a team of up to 3 players, and there is matchmaking. So if you're by yourself, you can queue up to match up with 2 other people. Bungie also said that you can go out by yourself as well. Like, you can hit a box and be like, throw me in as a solo player, but it's not like a solos only experience. You're still going to get thrown in against teams of 3. So, like, you know, you do you, I guess. And there's going to be 18 players on a map at a time. So I guess if you're like the solo, maybe it's only 16. I'm not really sure how that works just yet. I say PvP VE because there aren't just regular players out there. There are also computer-controlled enemies that are also trying to kill you, and they hurt really bad. They are something to pretty seriously consider, you know, especially considering some of the more advanced units. Now, how much of a factor the PvE experience of the game is going to be, I'm not really sure of that just yet, but I would not be telling people to buy or play Marathon looking for a PvE experience. There are 6 different characters to pick from. I think there's going to be 4 in the upcoming alpha, but I would not call this a class shooter. I would not call this a hero shooter or anything like that either, in the same way that like Overwatch or Marvel Rivals is, you know, a hero shooter. I think the extraction shooter part is the primary genre. It just also happens to have class-based kits and stuff. Like, everyone's going to have their own kit and roles and abilities and stuff like that you would expect. Like, you got the tanky run and gun guy, and you got the recon one, and you got the stealth one. You got it. For the lore people out there, this game takes place in the very far future from the events of the original Marathon, evidently. So there might be some things here and there from the original games, but how much of that, I'm not too sure. Bungie is going to have storytelling in this game as well, but it's not going to be as direct as you are used to it being, maybe with like a Destiny situation, instead relying on more like environmental storytelling and other things like that versus like them just throwing a cutscene in your face. There is going to be a closed alpha from April 23rd to May 4th. And you do need to sign up to try to get access. I put the link in the description. It is 18 plus, and it's apparently only for North America. So sorry, everybody else. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to be streamable either. So like, don't, you know, leak anything. The game comes out September 23rd, 2025, which is much sooner than I originally thought. Like, I mean, there was a point where I didn't even think this game was going to come out this year. Like, I thought it was going to get shelved for 2026. And you know what also comes out on September 23rd, by the way, besides my birthday? Borderlands 4 releases on the same day. So that's going to be very interesting to watch. Although the 2 games are, you know, they're probably aiming for pretty different audiences. You know, one's a PvE game, storytelling. Another one's PvP game, extraction shooter. So we don't have a price point on the game just yet. We don't know how much it's going to cost. It's apparently not going to be $70, though. I don't have that much of an opinion on the price point because I'm just not very knowledgeable about price points for games. Like, on one hand, this game is being made by what people would consider to be a AAA studio, so like the price might reflect that, but at the same time, you probably need to be priced somewhat close to the competition or priced in a way that kind of matches what the market is looking for, right? So, you know, this game is also going to be a live service game, so it's probably going to come with a lot of what you would expect from that in terms of monetization. Also, they put out an 8-minute video at the end of the live stream, which I will also put in the description. And it was like amazing. It was really good. I really suggest watching it. It literally stun locked me at the end of that show. I was like, where did this come from? So it was really good. If you get anything out of this video, it should be go watch that video because it's really good. Now, this video is not going to be some sort of like trailer breakdown or info breakdown on the mechanics of Marathon. It's not what I'm here to do today. There's a few videos out there already with that information. How the game works, how this works, how that works, blah, blah, blah. I'll put some stuff in the description. For now, I am just giving some of my reactions on the stuff that we saw, and I wanted to talk about the relationship that I am going to have with this game. To start, I really like the art style that they have gone with. I love the big, vibrant colors and the aesthetic that they're going with. But I've also seen the polar opposite feedback from people saying they really don't like it, which is fine, right? I just appreciate that they're trying to do something very distinct for their art style to make sure that it has an incredibly strong identity to it. So I like it. We know that Destiny's gunplay is insanely good, so one would expect that to carry over to Marathon, and it does. I have played Marathon. Can you believe it? I have played Marathon, but I played it like forever ago. I'm talking like pre-alpha. I'm talking one of the maps was gray blocks, okay? But even on that gray block map, the gameplay was really fun. I enjoyed the tactical nature of trying to navigate around other players and into other areas. The combat felt good. The shooting felt good. The moment-to-moment gameplay felt really good. So I'm sure in an even more updated build, it would feel even better. The combat had a lot of like battle royale type vibes, at least on the map that I was playing on. But that kind of makes sense given that shooters or extraction shooters are very similar in scope to BRs, with just the stakes driven up even more with, you potentially losing all of your stuff. So I like the art style, and I like the combat, and I like the shooting. Why have I not said basically anything about Marathon until now, other than the fact that NDAs exist? I have really not been that interested in extraction shooters pretty much ever. I have watched people play Tarkov, and I have absolutely no interest in the experience, although I know there's more to the extraction shooter world than just Tarkov. It's just the one that, people know very well. To be fair, when I think of Tarkov, I think of hiding in a bush for 12 minutes, waiting for something. Whereas for what I've seen and played of Marathon, there wasn't a lot of that type of experience. Like, sure, there were some exploratory stages of a match when you first drop in and you're just looting and roaming around, but the non-player enemies to engage with were also a somewhat big factor in keeping some of that intensity high, especially since they are very legit threats and not just like fodder for you to kill on your way to the next building. Anyway, when I heard that Marathon was going to be an extraction shooter, I wasn't super tuned in because I don't mesh with that genre. It's not what I prefer. And just because I cover a Bungie game does not mean I need to cover or even love everything else that Bungie makes, right? Like, I signed up to cover Destiny. I didn't sign up to cover all of Bungie. The idea of trying to cover both Marathon and Destiny at the level that I would want to cover them is not something the 2025 version of myself is particularly interested in doing if I wish to have any semblance of a life outside of making YouTube videos. And as I get older, I wish to have more of a life outside of making YouTube videos. I've seen quite a range of feedback and questions from the Destiny community out there about Marathon. I don't think Marathon was designed to be asking the question of, would Destiny players like this? Because they're very different gameplay experiences. Marathon is also not like the Destiny Crucible standalone game. It is its own independent game with its own independent design goals that it wishes to achieve. And no, Destiny is not being replaced by Marathon, and I wish Bungie would start the marketing machine for Frontiers already so that more people realize that more Destiny stuff is indeed coming. They're not switching from Destiny over to Marathon. It's two teams, okay? And I feel like I'm seeing some Destiny folk have like a crisis of faith. Like they're supposed to like everything that Bungie makes, and they're seeing Marathon for the first time. They're like not really clicking with it. And it's okay to not like the thing if you don't like the thing. That's okay, man. Bungie is not trying to appeal to both audiences at the same time with Marathon, right? If you like Marathon and not Destiny, fine. If you like Destiny and not Marathon, also fine. To really drive the Marathon is different from Destiny point home, SkillUp talked about meta progression in his Marathon video because he got to go very recently. Round by round progression is pretty simple. Loot stuff and get out alive. But what does progression look like over the course of like a season, like 3 or 4, 5, however long a season's going to be? Well, you're completing bounties or objectives with different like sponsors or companies, whatever they call them, who will in turn give you stuff that persists for your character or characters for an entire season. There will also be, some amount of things that persist on your character forever, like certain gameplay milestones and stuff like that. But when a season ends, everything is wiped and everyone starts from square one. And if this quote ain't the truth, I don't know what is.
Every season resets everyone back to square one. And it's one of the many reasons that I suspect Marathon will hold very little appeal to your average Destiny fan, because you can't get these people to give up loot they earned 6 years ago that they've never even bothered to equip once. It just sits in their vault. So how do you think they're going to like having their entire arsenal deleted every 3 months or however long a season ends up being?
I will play Marathon at launch. I will try to play in all the alphas and the betas and the this and the that, all that kind of stuff. But I haven't revved up the content engine because I don't know if this is a game that I'm going to be interested in playing long term, simply because the genre of the game is not what appeals to me. My current content plans for Marathon are play a little bit, make 1 or 2 videos going over my thoughts, maybe like a pure gameplay video or something like that. And that might be it. That might be it for me, right? That being said, I could totally change my mind. I could boot up the game and I could sink like 100 hours into it immediately and just fall in love, and all I want to do is make content on it. And if that is the case, I would make a new channel to keep Destiny and Marathon content isolated from each other for many reasons. Or maybe, I just fall somewhere in the middle where I only play it on stream or when there's updates or something like that. And that would be it. So, yeah, that's it. As of this moment, I don't have any long-term plans to cover Marathon. Just because I cover Destiny does not mean I'm going to cover Marathon. So hopefully that answers any questions you might have had for me about my plans for Marathon. Again, I'm open to being surprised. I'm open to being interested in the experience and, having my mood shift on the game and that kind of stuff. And hopefully the alpha will allow me some greater clarity on that. Whether or not it's good or bad, like the game is good or bad, I'm not really here to answer that right now. Although, again, what I did play was fun. But I only got to play it in a very controlled environment for a very short amount of time. So that's it. That's all I got on Marathon for now. When we can actually start posting some gameplay and I can really sink my teeth into it, maybe we'll talk about it more. But for now, I'll see you at Rights of the Nine, I guess. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.